Thank you for joining us in Finding God in Video Games. In today's Rewind, we're going to take a look at the value of a villain. And I just want to say, thank goodness for video game villains. Now, I know that may seem to be an odd sentiment, but after years of playing games, I can tell you with certainty that a well-crafted enemy is essential to enjoying the gaming experience. As a matter of fact, there's typically a one-to-one correlation between how compelling the antagonist of the story is and how satisfying I find the plot of the adventure. The caliber of our enemy is not only what brings out the best from our hero, but the defeat of that villain is honestly kind of makes the whole journey worthwhile. I mean, consider the way that the maniacal Joker forces Bruce Wayne to go beyond what he believed he was capable of to stop his anarchic plans, pulling him out of his pathos long enough to save his city time and time again. Mario would still be plumbing toilets if the antics of Bowser had not compelled him to act and become a Mushroom Kingdom hero, an Olympian, a kart racer, a tennis pro, a party host. Come to think of it, Mario is a bit of an overachiever, maybe not a great example. And now, after having played what I find to be a very compelling Star Wars experience, Vader Immortal, Darth Vader finally got his due in the gaming world as a villain worthy of his pedigree. Darth Vader has clearly defined all things villainous through his iconic and menacing look, that arrogant swagger, and his instantly fatal combat capabilities. It is through the dark swath of violence that follows behind him like his cape that heroic characters such as Luke, Leia, and of course Han Solo became more than just a moisture farmer, a princess, and a smuggler. The through line of almost every great story-based gaming experience is driven by an opposite number, pulling us through ever-escalating scenarios that are designed to prepare us for a final battle worthy of our epic tale. But what I find most interesting about this is that the villain in each case typically seems to believe the story is about them. They seem oblivious to the reality that they are actually contributing to the hero's journey, causing their adversary to grow in strength and resolve and capability. And when the curtain falls, the player is typically at their highest power level, with a fully maxed out skill tree and often carrying enough equipment to win a small war. And as the final boss pontificates about their plans and their schemes, we grip our controllers with resolve, ready to show them everything that the last 20 hours of constant painful battle has taught us. And when they finally fall to their inevitable doom, I wonder if in their final moments they realize that they are the ones that created this ending through the very obstacle course that they threw at us. They are in fact the architects of their own demise because they trained us on how to defeat them. Now, this irony played out in multiple levels in the final weeks of Christ Jesus' life on earth. In John chapter 11, we see a major player in his drama, a high priest named Caiaphas, who was very much at odds with Jesus and his ministry the whole time he was here. This high priest Caiaphas actually went as far as to make a prediction in the name of God that Jesus would die for the nation of Israel. And by so doing, the children of God who were scattered abroad would be gathered together as one, which is kind of a curious prophecy considering he was blissfully unaware that what he was foretelling was exactly what Jesus was planning to do all along. So we see here a very classic villain move. The high priest laid out what he believed would be the key to victory through the death of his adversary, only to fast forward to the end game where Jesus shows that his death was merely a means to an end. The elaborate plot of Caiaphas and his entire group of Pharisees had nothing on the plan of God that was established from the dawn of time to redeem all of his fallen children through the very death of Jesus. Now, Caiaphas had it right. He was just mistaken on who was pulling the strings. God used this evil high priest's very own scheme against him to achieve his end goal. And the ultimate victory of Jesus was the result of the machinations of his enemies being used against them. And so it goes with us as well. It can be hard sometimes to follow Jesus' command to love our enemies unless we understand that our enemies add an exceptional, irreplaceable value to our lives. Without their constant attacks and frequent challenges, we would actually miss out on the growth that this daily buffeting provides us. It is through their attempts at sabotage that we become stronger and take another step closer to our ultimate destination. So before we complain about the difficulty of our struggle, consider that much like the multiple mini-bosses that we battle prior to the finale of our games, it is simply preparation and development for our largest and most critical battle. And now, the final twist. Now, you might expect me to say that the final boss fight is with the devil. I mean, admit it, it does seem like the logical progression, right? That's what would happen in a video game. You defeat lower level enemies until we face the ultimate adversary. Except, he's already defeated. He's already lost. He is a shadow villain at best. Christ crushed that serpent's head long ago. He is not the in-game boss that we've been preparing for. Jesus' final battle did not take place on the cross. That was simply the outward manifestation of a battle he had already fought. His final battle actually occurred much like humanity's first battle, in a garden. In the Garden of the Gethsemane, Jesus' own words revealed his final battle when he prayed, "If you are willing, let this cup pass from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done." It was not the murderous Caiaphas that Jesus had to engage in battle. It was actually his plot that brought Jesus where he needed to go. It was not even the devil who had entered into Judas to perform the betrayal of Jesus personally. No, our true enemy is that which would deny us our personal cross and ultimate victory, which is our will. Our will, what Jesus was praying for. The enemy is within us. The end boss is actually us all along. External enemies such as Caiaphas only force us into a confrontation with our own self-destructive souls and personal goals. And that's why we should be thankful, to the point of what Jesus said to do, which is to bless our enemies. Luke would have never become the Jedi that he was meant to be without the presence of Vader pushing him into his destiny. But Luke's true battle actually took place all by himself in a swamp deep in the Dagobah system, as he had to confront his own personal demons before he could ever confront Vader. And in the end, it was Vader's pursuit of Luke that brought Luke to his place of victory, leading him to a place where he could not and would not have gone alone. So let's love our enemies. They will push us farther than our friends could ever carry us.